Okay, here we go. Day 3 of the leadership retreat. Just came out of a shadow workshop and feeling inspired with some new thoughts and recognition and awareness about some things that I would like to share. Yeah. So shadow work is bringing light and shining light to the unseen parts of ourselves, the things that we either deny, suppress, or we're not aware of, and seeing them as part of ourselves. And I have a love-hate relationship with shadow work. Of course, I feel really good when it's done and when I overcome my own bullshit in my stories. But when we're in it, or when I'm in it, it feels, it can feel really intense. And so today, I work with a belief that I've been carrying since I was 5 years old. And just the idea of talking about it brings a lot of tenderness, because even though I've been somewhat aware of my whole life, it's not really been actively worked on. It's not really been something that I've contributed a lot of my decisions to in life. And that is the belief that I'm not lovable. When I was a baby, even before I was born, my dad abandoned our family and abandoned me, my mom, and then I had a stepdad, and he was a great stepdad until I was 5, 6 years old, and my little sister was born. And he also then acted in a way that felt like abandonment. He really just kind of felt like I dropped me overnight and started to prioritize my sister, not in a healthy way like you do with siblings, but in a fairly unhealthy way. And that was really difficult. And as we are little children, the whole world is all about us. And we make everything about us. And the question that we start to ask is, what's wrong with me? Rather than understanding that adults behave the way they do because of the things that happen and it's not about us, we make it believe that it's about us. So I made it mean that I'm not lovable and that I'm not worthy of being chosen. And this brings a lot of tenderness to this moment as I'm sharing this. I'm feeling a lot of that impact. 30 some years later, 32 years later. And now I'm clearly seeing how that's impacted the choices I made in life, how that's impacted my relationships, how that's impacted my relationship with men, how that's impacted the career choice I choose, and becoming a coach and coaching women who are not feeling lovable, who are seeking external validation to feel lovable through losing weight, to changing their appearance, which is what I've done for so many years since I was 16. Starting with something as severe as going through an eating disorder, and then later on becoming a health coach and nutritionist and therapist, helping women, lose weight and become healthier. And still at that time, this was still all about changing the external so that we get validation that we are lovable and that we're good enough. And that is the process that I was going through personally, which is why I was so good at helping other people go through it, because I've been through it. I was going through it. I've seen the light and the dark, and I was seeing it from a real depth, because even, when I was studying nutrition and I was studying personal training, I competed as a fitness model. And just to understand, it takes a lot to actually push your body to the point of stepping on stage with 12 or 14% body fat for a woman. I was training day and night. I was eating crazy restrictive diet, chicken breast, brown rice, broccoli for 3 months, And when I stepped on stage, I still didn't feel good enough. I had the fittest body I've ever had. I had the most idolized shape and size that I've ever had, or anyone could ever have, really. And still all I could think of was how everyone else was better than me. And even then, that was a realization, but I didn't really know what it was all about. And I didn't really know how that striving to be skinnier, leaner, then fitter, then healthier was still all about seeking validation from the outside that I was good enough. And so I started teaching how to be fitter, how to be, leaner, how to be healthier. And at the same time, as I evolved on my spiritual and self-development journey, I started teaching deeper stuff to women. Started teaching about shadow work, started teaching about understanding the body and hormones. Still very superficial. And I started teaching about the subconscious mind and how our thoughts and patterns and behaviors are very much impacted, or our behaviors are very much impacted by our thoughts, including the conscious and the subconscious. So shining the light on the unconscious ones that are probably not serving us if we're continuing to drive and push ourselves and forcing things and doing things from a place of lack and from a place of unworthiness rather than love. And then teaching somatic practices and understanding the sensations of the body and how to work with our emotions and how to let our emotions guide us. And all of that has led to something this year, or I should even say last year, because all of this whole process started kind of in the second half of 2021, that I could almost no longer sell weight loss anymore. Whilst I knew a lot of women, that's what they wanted, and that's where they're lacking, is how to make sense of their physical body and why they're putting on weight and why their hormones are out of balance and all that. Last year, after 8 years of teaching this and successfully having thousands of women, helping them lose weight in a healthy and holistic way still, something just broke inside of me, where I got to the point that I was just no longer able to create content around weight loss anymore. I was no longer able to talk about belly fat. I was no longer able to talk about how many squats you should do or how you should work out or what kind of diet you should be eating. It's just all become something that feels so superficial on the surface that I can just no longer talk about it. And I went through a period of about 6 months where I felt really terrible about this. I felt really terrible about not knowing why I couldn't talk about it, knowing that it was out of alignment, but I didn't really know, so what should I talk about then? And so you may have witnessed me going through a phase of kind of being a bit more quiet, not really releasing anything new, not really creating anything new around weight loss, not putting out new masterclasses much, whilst I used to do one every month. Now you maybe see me doing ones in 6 months. And early this year is when it's become so clear that I can no longer talk about it, that I actually just decided to take a step back from work and to stop creating. And I still be working with clients, and what I do inside my programs still feels so much in integrity, because it's all about understanding self. It's all about going into our own depth. It's all about self-compassion, cultivating empathy towards self, working with emotions and understanding how sensations and emotions are the language of the body and how to work with that. Teaching embodiment practices to release emotions that are not serving us, and transmuting emotions and transmuting stories that we've been telling ourselves for years or months or decades. And so I've come to a really important decision that I wanted to share. And if you've been following me, or you've been part of my tribe, or you're a friend, or you're a family member, or you're an extended family member, or you're one of my clients or previous clients, I want you to know where I'm at with things, and how I feel like, even though it felt in alignment at the time, I feel like I've been sending out a message that has been harmful to a degree. And whilst I did it without awareness, I feel the impact of it. And I feel like I've been telling women for 8+ years that, how to lose weight so they can feel good about themselves, whilst teaching how to really feel good about themselves. But on the outside, what you have been seeing is me telling the world how to find that external validation through losing weight, through becoming smaller, to becoming fitter. And whilst a lot of women have transformed their lives and transformed their relationship with themselves and with food, a lot of other people probably have been impacted, maybe in a negative way, by thinking that that is what they need to do. They need to lose weight so they can feel good about themselves. And for that, I'm deeply sorry. And I'm deeply sorry for myself that I've been there for so many years, and I'm deeply sorry for any negative impact that I have caused. And I take full responsibility for that. And whilst this has been really hard to admit, there is also a lot of freedom that comes with it, because I know what is on the other side. And I now really excited to lead women to love and value themselves from the inside out rather than the outside in. Because the outside and everything we experience in our physical reality is a direct result of our internal world. And so if we want to experience a different result on the outside, we must start with the inside and our internal world. And that work has been my passion for many, many years. And I feel that it will be my passion for many, many years to come. And so what I'm teaching isn't going to change so much. But the message that I'm leading with is that we can't become happier and we can't love ourselves by changing the external. And so this is something that I hope, and my hope is that you take away from this is that it all starts with inside and what's inside of ourselves. And so with that, I feel that I am in a way ready to dismantle what I've built in the last 8 years. And that said, the Lean Body Coach as it stands today is probably going to be gone as a thing of the past. And whilst there are still many women who will want to lose weight regardless, I want you to know that that is available to you. But the energy that you come to it, the intention behind it, is what gets to change, not your desire to lose weight. Because you can either do this from a place of fear, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, or you can do it from a place of love. I am worthy. I'm worthy of being healthier, lighter, bouncier, more radiant, because I'm worthy of that and I'm lovable. Thank you for listening and witnessing. It's been a really, really big process. Months to come. I would say even years to come. And I feel like everything that I've been doing, all the work I've been doing, has led up to this particular point in time where I draw the line in the sand. And as hard as it is for parts of me, it also is liberating to other parts of my being. And I'm grateful to be witnessed and seen by you. Thank you.